Guys, I'm Erin Gallagher, and today I'm here to talk about why we should change the driving age from 16. Increasing the driving age from 16 to 18 years old can lead to safe driving conditions and decrease the number of teenagers that die each year from automobile accidents. Do you know that 1 in 5 16-year-olds have their first accident within the first year of driving? Motor vehicle accidents are the leading cause of death in teenagers in the United States. In 2013, 2,163 teenagers from 16 to 19 years old were killed, and 243,243 were treated in the emergency room for injuries from a car accident. Also in 2013, 51% of teenage deaths were from motor vehicle crashes occurring between 3 p.m. and midnight. Additionally, 54% of accidents happen on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. In 2012, out of all male drivers between the age of 15 and 20 who were involved in a deadly accident, 35% of them were speeding when the crash took place, and 25% had been drinking at the time of the crash. Additionally, 56% of teenagers say that they talk on their cell phones while driving. These statistics show that teenagers who drive are not only at higher risks for death from motor vehicle accidents, they are also more likely to make decisions that put themselves and others at risk when they get behind the wheel. Increasing the driving age from 16 to 18 years old across the country can lead to safer driving conditions and decrease the number of teenagers that die each year from automobile accidents. Reducing the number of teen deaths in automobile accidents is a major concern for every American. Every day there is about 6 teenagers who die due to an injury in a car accident. This number is way too high. At 16 years old, many teenagers believe that they know everything and that is the right to get their license and a car to start driving. The harsh reality is that most teenagers at this age are not mature enough to make self-decisions about what to do behind the wheel. Most teenagers need more time to develop better decision-making skills and to learn about how to be safe on the road. 16-year-old drivers are twice as likely to get into an accident and die than someone in their 30s. Teenagers are also the age group that is less likely to wear seatbelts when driving. Not wearing a seatbelt will increase the chances of getting hurt in the event of an accident. In 2012, there were 71% of drivers 15 to 20 that were killed in motor vehicle crashes after drinking and driving and were not wearing seatbelts. Teenagers are known for underestimating the danger of situations. They are also not sure how to react to different dangerous situations when driving, which will lead you to get into an accident. Because of the fact that teenagers underestimate the dangerous situations and the fact that they are often not mature enough to realize the responsibility that comes along with operating a vehicle, the minimum driving age should be increased in order to give teenagers more time to mature and learn about how to drive in different conditions and situations. This will, in turn, decrease the number of teenagers who die each year from car accidents. Raising the driving age can improve because it will give the teens more time to mature and learn more about the responsibilities that come when driving and learn more about different things that could affect the ability to drive. It will also give teens time to know how serious driving is and everything they do behind the wheel is not only affecting their lives but the ones on the road as well. If this issue is not addressed, teenagers across the country are put at an increased risk of death when getting behind the wheel or in a car with another teenage driver. Teenagers today are very privileged, and many of them believe that they have the right to drive even though they are not mature enough to handle the responsibility of being behind the wheel and driving. In addition, most, if not all, teenagers today have cell phones, and most of them can never put them down even when driving. This privilege is an increasing role that technology plays in our society, especially in our lives of teenagers, can lead to the higher death rates among teenagers. Even though this is a serious problem that might seem difficult change to make, there are things that can be done to raise the driving age. Changing the driving age should occur at a national level. This change should be enacted gradually. Teenagers who are currently 15 or 16 years old when the law is enacted should still be allowed to get their license at 16. The 14-year-olds or younger should have to wait until 18. There will be a specific birth date that if you were born before that date, you can get your license at 16. Those born after have to wait until 18. States then should be allowed to set rules and requirements for teens when they reach 18 years old. On their 18th birthday, teenagers should be allowed to take their permit test. From that day that they take their permit test and pass, they should have to wait 6 months to be eligible to take the test. In between that time, they should have to take driving so many hours in the daylight and at night. The number of hours should be set by each state, and it should be at least 25 hours total. In addition to needing to drive a certain number of hours, teen drivers will have to take driving safety courses. Again, the specifics of the course can be set up by the state, but should be a minimum circumstance that needs to be met, and that should be determined by the federal government. This plan will give teens an additional 2 years to mature and to understand the responsibility that comes when driving. This plan will give teens more time to practice and feel comfortable driving with an adult before getting their license and driving alone. This will hopefully allow teenagers to experience various of situations in the presence of an adult who can guide them through difficult situations. While changing the driving age might not seem like it would have a dramatic result, but this is definitely not the case. There will be a lot of changes that will occur if this plan is put to use. Society will change because you will not have 16-year-olds driving. More parents will have to drive their kids around and have to spend more time practicing with their kids. Teens are not going to be happy with it, but in the long run, it will help save their lives. The biggest benefit of this change is driving age is going to be the fact that there will be reduced in number of teen deaths. Additionally, it will also teach teens that driving is a serious and it is privilege, not a right. There could be some downsides to this plan to raise the driving age. The main people who could be affected by this is the parents of the teenagers. Parents will have to drive their teens around until they're 18. They will also need to spend more time with their kids because they'll need to practice more before. They might also have to spend additional money on the driving lessons. That being said, raising the minimum driving age from 16 to 18 will not only save lives, but teach teenagers that driving is a responsibility that should be taken seriously. When changing the minimum driving age might be hard to get used to, but in the long run, it will help save lives. In summary, raising the driving age from 16 to 18 is an important issue that everyone should think about. This could help reduce the amount of teens that die each year from car accidents. It would also give them more time to mature and learn the proper way to act behind the wheel. Teens will also have more time to practice, so when they get their license, they will have more of an idea of a difficult situation that could occur while being behind the wheel. Raising the minimum driving age from 16 to 18 will not only save lives but teach teenagers that driving is a responsibility that should be taken seriously. Teenagers have their whole lives ahead of them. Waiting an extra 2 years to get their license is not compared to having their lives cut short in a car accident that could have been avoided. Are there any questions? Yes?
What about if they raise the age to 21?
Raising the age to 21 is a little high because they have school and stuff. And they have some jobs they need to go to, need to drive.
That is a very good point. I am convinced. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.